You may think that your knowledge of volcanoes is fairly substantial. However, you are far from correct. According to numerous articles, books, and television shows, volcanoes originated from the shifting of Earth's plates. In the following myth, you will discover that this is not the case. Hephaestus, god of fire and volcanoes, who lives beneath a volcano in the city of Therma, has an everlasting impact on the mythological world, for all fear him. He is able to make volcanoes erupt into the city when angered by humans. He is the son of Zeus and Hera, and his main expectation is honor and gratitude from humans. Athena, the Greek god of wisdom and war, is a daughter of Zeus. She is known to be one of the most powerful Greek goddesses, as she chooses strategy in battle rather than violence and killing. The Parthenon located in Athens is a Greek house of worship that is devoted to her. Theseus, the hero in our myth, who is sent by Athena, will encounter various obstacles to overcome in order to save the town of Therma from the fires of Hephaestus. In a land far, far away from modern civilization lived a small town known as Therma, located in the heart of Greece. The people in Therma lived in peace and harmony with one another, and this was partially due to the beautiful gazebo located in the center of town. This gazebo was dedicated to Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom. The people would sacrifice their very best livestock, fruit, and vegetables and leave it on the steps of the gazebo as a symbol of gratitude. The people continued this tradition for over 2,000 years, until one Greek god in particular became extremely upset. Hephaestus, the Greek god of fire, was angered with the people of Therma for not dedicating the structure to him. After all, a tall and mighty volcano lay just on the outskirts of the town of Therma. The people used to care for this volcano, but over time the people's attention spread more towards Athena's gazebo. Over the course of the next few months, Hephaestus became more and more infuriated with the town of Therma, and began to stomp around Olympus, which caused the volcano on the outskirts of Therma to produce a multitude of lava and smoke. The people eventually began to notice the active volcano, and spent their days praying to Athena for guidance. Over the next few days, Athena heard the prayers of the people of Therma, and decided to bring forth her assistance. Hephaestus somehow managed to hear of Athena's plan to help the people, and began to stomp even louder, which eventually caused the volcano to begin erupting. Because of Hephaestus' quick action to destroy the city, Athena was forced to send down a well-known hero known as Theseus. Athena provided him with a detailed map that he was to follow in order to find the city of Therma, and Theseus quickly gathered up a few of his belongings and set out on foot to reach the city of Therma. Along the way, Theseus was required to pass through the forest of Arden, which was rumored to be filled with numerous creatures, including the following: unicorns, griffins, centaurs, and dragons. While wandering through the dense forest, Theseus came across an injured traveler. Instead of continuing on his way, Theseus stopped and provided the traveler with water, which helped heal him. In order to repay Theseus, the traveler provided Theseus with a pair of flying shoes from the Greek god Hermes. Theseus immediately slipped on the shoes and began to fly higher and higher into the air, until he was eventually high enough to see the erupting volcano in the distance. Theseus began to fly towards the volcano, but got pushed off course by a strong gust of wind. Theseus' shoes stopped working, and he tumbled toward the ground at lightning speed. Theseus crashed onto rocky sand and underwent a series of cuts and bruises. Theseus became unconscious, but awoke to a voice calling out his name. When Theseus opened his eyes, he was faced with a beautiful mermaid, calling out to him from several feet in the crystal clear water. Theseus rose from his resting position and quickly went into the water and approached the mermaid. She explained to him that he had heard of his bravery and wanted to assist him in saving the city of Therma. Theseus was exceptionally grateful and watched in awe as the mermaid constructed a durable raft out of seaweed. She explained to him that once he got aboard the raft, it would take him to the city of Therma rapidly. He quickly got on the raft and was amazed at how fast the current took him to Therma. Once Theseus reached the city of Therma, he rushed past the screaming people until he eventually reached the foot of the volcano. As Theseus was about to embark up the volcano, a booming voice caused him to halt in his tracks. Hephaestus had arrived in front of Theseus and explained to him of his reason for destroying the town. Theseus explained that he could not allow this to happen, and Hephaestus agreed to restore the town back to normal if Theseus were to beat him in a sword fight. Now Hephaestus is also the Greek god of metalworking. Hephaestus contained a sword that was composed up of dozens of different metals, and he knew that this sword would not fail him. Hephaestus produced his sword out of thin air and faced a weaponless Theseus. Theseus did not know what to do and quickly prayed to Athena. His prayers were answered instantly, and a beautiful bronze sword appeared out of thin air, and Theseus and Hephaestus began an epic duel. Over the course of the next few hours, time seemed to stand as still as these two Greek gods fought back and forth. Eventually, Theseus overcame Hephaestus' sword. Hephaestus was son with Theseus, but kept true to his promise and restored the city of Therma. The city became whole and prosperous once more. In order to pay their thanks, the people of Therma named the volcano Igneous, after the Greek god of Hephaestus. The people also built a small memorial dedicated to Theseus as well. And so, the people of Therma have and still live in peace and harmony thanks to the epic hero Theseus. And as a way to remember the battle fought between Theseus and Hephaestus, the volcano of Igneous still erupts every once in a while in order for the people to reflect on what happened over 2,000 years ago.
If a hero is properly defined as somebody who does something dangerous to help somebody else, then the heroes of Greek mythology do not qualify for the most part. They were a pretty selfish bunch, often with additional antisocial tendencies thrown into the bargain. In other words, not exactly role models for the younger generation of today, but knowing their names and exploits is essential for understanding references in literature and even popular culture today. So, let's recognize and celebrate Theseus and the others by their proper dictionary definition. In mythology and legend, a man or woman often of divine ancestry, who is endowed with great courage and strength, celebrated for his or her bold exploits and favored by the gods. Unlike the dozens of Greek gods that are perceived to be quite selfish, Theseus goes out of his way to help people in need. Once the feud between Athena and Hephaestus ended, both gods returned to their respectful homes inside of Olympus, located somewhere in the deep blue sky. Athena continued and continues to provide the people of Therma with fresh knowledge regarding art, literature, mathematics, and other essential studies to provide for an excellent education. Athena was the goddess who originally came up with the city's name. The name Therma refers to thermal, which refers to heat, which refers to the volcano. Hephaestus, on the other hand, continues to watch over the volcano on the outskirts of Therma, as well as provide the people with weapons to ward off any invaders. As for Theseus, his presence lies with all the people. Theseus's bravery has inspired hundreds of people to live up to their full potential. The traveler that Theseus assisted in the forest during Athena's quest introduced himself as Hermes later on. Hermes, the Greek god of travelers, messages, and thieves, was inspired with Theseus' helpfulness with providing Hermes with water, and that is why Theseus was able to keep Hermes' flying shoes. Instead of continuing on with the quest, Theseus took time to provide the thirsty traveler with water. This action further provides proof of Theseus' hero-like traits. The mermaid that assisted Theseus near the sea surrounding Therma turned out to be one of Poseidon's most loyal companions. This mermaid could sense Theseus' bravery, and that is why she assisted him. With the power of the sky and the sea, Theseus was able to overcome Hephaestus' strong sword. And so, the story of the hero's journey has been passed down generation to generation and continues to live in the hearts of the people willing to listen to the story, as well as inspire more recent heroes such as Hercules, Perseus, Odysseus, and Captain Jack Sparrow, of course. If you are still unsure of whether to believe the story, I suggest that you turn on your local news station and watch for a volcano in the small town of Therma, and look to see whether it erupts often or not.